Hey, what's up, traders? This is the watch list video for Tuesday, March 28th. The SPY gapped up today, but sold off. Let's look at the intraday real quick. It was a really slow, boring day. Just kind of sold off all morning, sideways during lunch, a little bounce, and then rolled over. So again, not a lot of opportunities. I want to highlight a couple though that were called in chat today. Nicholas gave the idea for SI, which it's a recent high flyer, so to speak, right? I mean, the daily's ugly as anything, but on Friday it had that massive move from like $1.10 to 210 or something. So a lot of us had this one on the chart. I think it was actually on the morning gap playlist as well, SI and FRC maybe. So a couple of the banks. But anyway, it gapped up, sold off, started to curl back up, and Nicholas's ID was back over $1.96, back through the highs, knowing, and even put this, that Friday's high was 217. So he typed out SI over $1.96. Next catalyst, 217, which isn't that far away, all things considered. There's the $1.96 break, breaks 217 and keeps going all the way to 245. So pretty neat move on, I don't know, maybe 15 cents risk, right? Went up to 245, so 45 by almost 50 cents, right? Great call by Nicholas. I actually gave it a late day call in NOT, which I'll show you the daily if you weren't in chat today. Had the big rip on Thursday, almost a reversal on Friday, but then I still had it on Bounce Watch, and it had some nice headlines this morning, so we threw it on the gap playlist, but it opened up, so it kind of put in this cup and handle, and my idea in chat was over $1.65, over the early high, and so it breaks $1.65 right here. And in about, 10, 15, maybe 10 minutes, goes to $1.84. It doesn't sound like much, but I had a really nice little trade in that one. I had some good size because you had the cup and handle, so your stop can go right below the handle. So I was risking really about a nickel, so I took some size and sold a chunk over $1.80. So anyway, it was kind of a neat little trade for me, even though it wasn't a massive mover. So there's a couple highlights from today, even on a slow day. So let's go into what we're watching for tomorrow. SQ had the gap down on Thursday, but rallied and topped out at 65.75, then put in this weird day on Friday, and then right back up. So it's interesting to me, back through 65 tomorrow, because we have today's high 65.11 as a catalyst just above 65. So whole number inflection point, potential catalyst 11 cents above, and then you look to Thursday's high, and that's 65.75. So there's another catalyst, and then you're up into the gap. So I kind of like it. A lot of people watching that name too. BXRX, I got to zoom in so you can see this one. All right, so you had a big volume day, like 10 million shares-ish. I don't know, a week and a half ago, maybe almost 2 weeks ago. Topped out at 215. Then today, another volume spike, and topped out at 209. So I like it tomorrow. Maybe we get it set up through 2, but if not, we know that a break of 209 might get us through 215 and then maybe a squeeze. So that one is an interesting chart. Told you guys it was going to be in my notes for tomorrow, and it is. NOTE, I already talked about the call in this one today. Definitely on long watch for tomorrow. You had the big pop and then a couple days lower, but nice volume today and a pretty strong close. IBIO topped out the other day at 260, and then today showing a little bit of extra volume again, 245 high. Looks like it could break out of this range, so that one's on watch. I'm not in love with it though. AZYO, back after the gap down, the high was 205. Today's high on pretty good volume for that stock was $1.95. So maybe through that, maybe we get through 205 and up into that gap. WISA, I'm probably going to pull off the list. Closed at 360. Nobody could figure out why it was running. Here's the intraday. And had a really nice move. I put a couple bids on pullbacks in once I saw the volume on it, but I never did get a trade in it. Anyway, so there's the intraday. Closed at 358. As I'm talking right now, it's trading at 290. Somebody in chat said after hours they did an offering. So it's much less interesting now, especially since there was no news. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and maybe put it on a chart, but I'm going to pull it off the list because of that offering. GME is GameStop, which had the gap up back here. A nice squeeze in after hours that day, right? And then anyway, you got almost like a 2-day high, $23.99 on Friday. Today's high, 24.01. This is super interesting over 24 tomorrow if that happens. But it closed all the way down to 23. So, it didn't have a strong close, but certainly a lot of shorts in the name. And if we get through 24, this one might get going. So, EYPT, just a high volume day for the stock. Still not even a million shares, so understand what you're trading there if it gives a setup. But nice little mini breakout of that range from the last couple weeks. We'll see if it gives a follow-through setup. Couple more. FSLY back here. Popped to 17.18. You kind of have a little cup and handle thing going. Tried to break out today. Got to 16.63, but closed well off the highs. Anyway, the chart's interesting to me. Let me pan out a little bit. Kind of give you, a better look. So you definitely can kind of picture that cup and handle there. So FSLY goes on watch. And then DWAC, now I've got to zoom in so you can see this one, had a big volume spike about a week ago. And then today, little volume that topped out at 1391. Here's the intraday. This is the only reason I found it is because I saw this volume spike here. It's not that interesting, but I am going to put it on a chart. And that's it. We're going to add other gappers in the pre-market together, as we always do. And then we'll look for the intraday setups, as we always do. So I'm done babbling. I'll see everybody in the chat room on Tuesday morning. Have a good night.